We'll get the YouTube thing going. Ricky, have you got the, wait a minute, where is it? The agenda?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So we'll be ready for that.
It's a long one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a long one. I am really impressed with myself.
We all are impressed with you too, Jim.
I'm bringing in a couple more right now. At least I should.
I'm glad we get to do this. I'm glad we get to do this. It's the only time I get to clean off my desk.
There you go.
The only problem, Jim, is you didn't have any snacks in the waiting room.
No, in your waiting room. I had plenty of snacks.
Who are we missing?
Well, I showed it. Grant, are you there? Grant?
There's two people that we can't see.
Grant may be signing in for his audio. Let me see. Let me see what he's got going on here. No, it shouldn't be a problem with him. It'll just take a second for him to get on.
We're missing AJ
Yeah.
and
Ken.
and
AJ.
now one more. John.
Well, supposedly we have 8 participants currently.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find out what's going on. What's going on with Grant? Wait a minute. More. Ask to start video, allow record. Hell, I don't know. Let me call Grant real quick, make sure we're getting together.
There you go, bragging about yourself, and look at what's happening.
You jinxed it, Jim.
What's that?
You jinxed yourself.
Oh, boy.
Somebody at 860-942-1815 will be on in a few. I just received a text.
It may be Grant because he didn't answer my call. Let me look at AJ.
And John Reedy. Hi, Steve.
Morning. We got your boat registered.
Thank you.
Hey, Steve, how many we got?
I just happen to have it here in front of me. 784.
Oh, God.
That's as of this morning. We did I think 3 or 4 more today.
I mean,
Last year at this time we had 547.
Keep up the good work, Steve.
my model said we were going to have a minimum of 819.
Well,
Oh, we're almost there. We should be there by the weekend.
So if we get that done, then we're good. And anything to the plus is gravy.
I think we'll have about 950.
Oh, crap.
There's a lot of boats still around this lake that aren't registered yet.
Steve, are we using the new system where we did away with the paper cards?
Not yet. We're not into the marina yet. We're still at the office.
You know, I would think that would work anywhere though.
Well, you seen how it was the other day. What'd it take us? 45 minutes with you, Tom?
At least that.
That's because he was stuffed up with a social distancing garbage. Right, Jeff?
No, he was standing there with 3 people.
That's Reedy's ring. Come on. I just lost Grant.
Yeah, well, all you have to do, Jim, is record it. And then, you could always send it to Grant and he'll post it that way.
Yeah, somebody's trying to get on, it looks like.
Ricky, should I try to get the flag?
Got your flag.
Forbes, you got it?
Handy.
I got a flag. Oh, he's got one there. Okay.
All right, shall I record it?
Yeah, let's record it.
Whoa, look at Jeff.
Oh, Jeff,
Whoa.
that's impressive.
Holly, zip you. Well,
I'll call the meeting
I
to
have
order.
been replaced.
let me get the record go. Wait a minute.
I have been replaced.
You're irreplaceable, Paul.
No, I'm not.
All right, here we go. We're
Thank
going.
God.
Okay, I call the meeting to order, May 18th Operation Committee meeting. Would you join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance
For the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well, thank everybody for attending.
Thanks, Rick.
No, thank you, Jeff, for the flag. That was impressive. Okay, first on the agenda would be the marina update, and I have Paul Forbes name on that one,
And Ken Roselle.
and Ken Roselle.
Okay, the marina update. We are closing in on, we have received our occupancy for the marina. We have been inspected. John, how are you doing? We have been inspected by, and
Excuse me a second. Hey, Grant, I started recording the meeting before you got on, and you and I can work out how we get it out to the internet, okay? Oh, he's still working on his audio. Reedy, can you hear us?
No, I hear you fine.
Grant, can you hear us yet? Okay, all right. Rock and roll.
I think you might have Ken coming in.
Okay,
There we go.
I'm looking for him.
All right.
I gotta fix my lighting. I'm in, I hope.
You are.
Sweet.
Nice hairdo, by the way.
Thank you. It's
Thank you.
rather long.
All right, Paulie, go.
Okay, so we received our occupancy on the marina. And so we're good to go. We've been inspected by the inspector. We've been inspected by the fire marshal. So we're all good to go. And Ken is diligently working to try and get the marina open sometime this week. I'm not going to give you any date, but it's going to be a soft opening, and it's going to be an opening to get everybody used to the new systems and probably be taking boat registrations over at the marina this week. We will be pumping gas at the marina this week. I
Yay.
can't give you the date. It's all up to Ken. Hopefully Ken will join us here. He's tomorrow will be a big day for us. We'll be over there quite a bit to get everything that's been ordered on the shelves. I don't know how many of you have had a chance to look in the windows or walk through, but it's looking pretty nice. I have not been there today, so I can't give you an update on the things that are on the schedule. And I hate to go through the things that were promised, because at this point we have a couple subcontractors that are probably a little bit busy here and there, and rain comes in the morning and they take the whole day off, and so on. So we don't have nothing is undone to prevent the marina from opening. Other than that, that's it for the marina. I think the only real change from the original outside area that you'll notice if you drive by is the fact that there was a couple employee spots at the end of the driveway before you make the corner. If you were coming in there to bring us the gasoline, you'd have to back around the marina. And as you went around that corner, we were going to put 2 spots up there for the employee parking. We've reallocated those spots to be right next to the marina in the parking lot. They will be labeled. It's as short a walk as the other 2 spots. And this way we can chain off the driveway because, I don't know, some intelligence came up with the idea that if we didn't have that blocked off, we might have some people trying to park in that driveway. I don't know who they were, but they came up with that idea. So there is a chain across there, fashionable chain, and the chain that we can take down. And oh, there's Ken Roselle. Hold on a second. Hi, Ken. Okay, I'll put you on speaker. All right, can you hear everything?
I can hear you.
Can you guys hear Ken?
We
Yes.
can.
Yes.
Thanks, Ken, for joining us.
His laptop is locked down. I just went over the update on the marina, and if you have anything to add, now's the time.
Okay. I do have things to add. I'm not sure what you covered. I just want to update on the internal piece of it. The gas pumps are up and ready. They're ready for service. Soda coolers are filled. Supplier for the product will be delivered tomorrow. The bait room is ready, and that product will be delivered Thursday. Hopefully the ATM machine will be installed this week. The camera and security system is completed. With all of that said, we are attempting a soft opening on Wednesday. There's some people that I'd like to thank for their contributions to help make this project happen. Cindy Huddleston with the Putnam County Kids Camp donated some money yesterday for a bench to be installed and some other items that we'll place on the outside. Chris Schaefer has donated her money and labor to install some nice shelving in the and racks in the bake room and the storage room. I'd also like to thank Bob Rudez for allowing us to use storage space over at his business. That has been helpful. The Lake Committee has an amount that is under consideration pending a vote at their next meeting. They'll be letting us know about that. And finally, Shannon McCullough has, I'd like to thank him also. He has reduced $10,000 off of his excavating work that he has done at this marina project. I know I kind of flew through it real quick, but I didn't know what you had covered. So
It was all new. Good.
I'd like to add, it really, I'm going to call an incredible kudo to Ken and whoever else has happened to be involved in this, where they have taken each of the SKUs of each of the products that we are selling in the marina and coded those mothers in. So our staff can be able to click on the SKU and do the transaction. It's unbelievable what they have done. The work effort, and I want to give a shout out, to everybody that's involved in putting together the system that's going to be able to correct this. And it's awesome. It is awesome. And a particular shout out both to Forbes and to Ken. They've been driving this whole bus. And look, hey, I'm the finance guy. We dumped that thing off. Those boys have done it all. And I am so proud of what you've done. I'm so proud of what you've done. It's just awesome. And, you know, we've got among us disagreements overall and stuff like that. But in terms of the ultimate objective, we are on the money. Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Ken. I can't tell. And Ken, also thank you for your staff and also for everybody who's been involved in putting together the aspect of getting ready for the gasoline. Holy smokes, how important is that? Next, somebody else talk.
And unless you have anything to add, Ken, the only thing I would like to close the marina with is the fact that I've been involved in a lot of projects, and I don't even care to talk about them, but we have not only been blessed by some phenomenal contractors and consultants and people that are willing to give their time to give us advice, very good advice, but we've also been lucky. We have been lucky along the way, and somehow I associate luck with purpose. And I think the purpose of this is for the community, and the luck has come along with it. So it's going great, and I can't wait. If anybody out there listens to this, I just can't wait. I want to camp out there and watch you walk through it and just see the look on your face. It's a wonderful building. It's gonna be a nice show. That's it on the marina for right now. You're muted yourself.
There you go, Rick. You're good.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I asked Ken when they're gonna start pumping gas. I heard soft opening. I'm not sure if that includes gas or not on Wednesday.
Yes, we will start pumping gas Wednesday.
Okay,
As long as we will start the gas pumps. The gas pump is ready. We'll pump gas as soon as we get it open, and that plan is on Wednesday.
okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions on before we change Marina? Good job, Paul and Ken. And Ken, your entire staff's done a wonderful job.
Awesome.
Gas dispenser, Jeff and Ken have two names on.
This is the same company we talked to about and the car machine back in February. I did talk with him today. He's going to hold his pricing on the pump, but he can only hold the pricing on the card reader till June 1st because his providers, his suppliers are having issues getting electronic components with all the COVID stuff and a lot of shutdowns. And we're getting closer to October 1 where the card readers are going to be a requirement for chip cards. And so the supply has also gone up, or excuse me, the demand has gone up. So right now he's talking 6 to 12 weeks on a card reader. The pump could be as early as 2 to 3 weeks because he's on a hold with the pumps he's building because he does not have all the card readers in. Just to refresh everybody's memory, the pump is a two-sided pump. It's $5,900. We don't have to do the card readers at the same time. The card reader is $5,750. And freight, he's still going to ballpark freight in the $300 range, but trucking can change some of their rates right now. He did say that this pump, again, it's two-sided. We can have a card reader on one side. The other side can also be used to dispense gas. But it can also have a card reader added in the future. So if we make some changes and can actually do boats at one time, they would both have card readers. That would be the EMV compliant to do chip cards.
Jeff, did we determine is the card reader, does that interface with our current point of sale system?
That's something we've not established just because we didn't know which card reader we're going to go with. The card reader is what he told me. The card reader is just feeding through an Ethernet connection. Probably Cat 6. I can't imagine any reason why it wouldn't.
What do we need to check in on that?
I can call him up. I can call him up tomorrow and double check that. But I do know the card readers. He did say he's expecting a price increase the 1st of June, just from his suppliers.
Yeah, I think we should find out certainty that it does interface with our new point of sale system.
Well, Ken had said something today. I talked with Ken today, and he said maybe have Darcy and Randy at United Petroleum get together and talk their geeky computer stuff that's probably on everybody else around here's head.
So you think you could have that done tomorrow, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the difference between the June 1st price and after June 1st and what it is now? You know?
He doesn't have any idea. He said the problem he's having is boards are made in Mexico. Some boards are made other ones are overseas for the card readers that are supplied by Gilbarco. So when those, he just kind of at the mercy of other folks right now. And supply and demand thing, since this is a federal mandate for October 1st, everybody's waited till the last minute. All across the country, not just all across the country's waited. And they're just, it's a shortage of the card readers right now.
Jeff, does this pump come with a hose or is the hose an extra?
If it doesn't come with the hose long enough for you, Tom, we and Ken talked about using the one we have. We could use a hose on our current pump. They can just switch over. All right, let me look at this sheet. One product and one hose per side dispenser. So 2 hoses.
18 footers?
It doesn't have a distance on there.
Okay.
Jeff, can they can't be used simultaneously, but if one is doing whatever it's doing and then we shut it off, the other one can operate basically on a cash basis, right?
Yeah, and actually both of them can be used same time, just like a gas pump at a gas station.
Wow.
People pump at the same time.
Awesome.
That's really awesome.
If we
Are
did
these the same? Is this the same guy that we had last year?
No.
It's not. It's different.
Talking
No,
about
no,
a supplier?
I think the most important
Yeah.
thing is to look at
Supplier is the same.
The supplier is the same.
The gas, the fuel supplier is the same.
Okay.
I think the most important thing to look at in terms of what Jeff is proposing is that we will not be beholden to somebody who is renting us basically our machines. We would own them, right, Jeff?
Yes, sir. They are our machines.
And we won't be subject to having to bump up our member cost to amortize the bullshit, the price that the other vendor is wanting to charge us. And once we get that, we'll be able to give lower prices to our customers, right, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Now, is there a service?
Ken, can I ask you a question? I think we talked about this briefly about a month ago. Would our supplier be able to lock in prices like Country Mart was talking for fuel?
That's not
You know,
Jeff's
Paul,
issue.
we did talk about that, but I have not asked.
Okay.
Gordon. But I could make a note. One of my questions I would ask is if we would order the dispenser without the card reader and give us time to investigate that piece, how soon could he get us the dispenser?
He said he can build a unit in 3 days, but with this
Okay.
bill right now, he's thinking 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, so
Is that right now?
if it sounds like if he can get it to us that quickly, then he's not going to be waiting on any kind of shipping coming in. It sounds like he has everything he needs for just the dispenser. So I wonder if that price, without the card reader, if that price increase would take effect June 1st, or if that price increase would just take effect if we included the card reader.
He kind of indicated that since he's building the pumps, that we wouldn't see a price increase of significance, if any, on the pump. It's mainly the card reader. He has all the stuff to build the pump.
Okay.
And am I
So it sounds like
correct?
the price.
Am I correct that the current fuel provider will be the individual who will be installing it?
That's a great question, Tom.
Ken, did you say that when we first started talking about this, Goss said they could install the pump?
Gordon said that we would have to go through the company he deals with was not licensed to install that.
So we need to get a price on what that. We need to
We
get
did talk about a price at one time, and he didn't think that it would be less than $500 to install it.
How much warranty do we get when we buy this?
Ken, do you remember what he said? Because I know we talked about it. I know you talked to him a couple of times. It is all the electronics are reconditioned. The meter valves are rebuilt. I don't remember, Rick, what the warranty was. For some reason, 90 days comes to mind.
I think that's what it is.
Is there any history to how much these refurbished pumps? I mean, is there any history with gas stations and what have you on how much service you get? I mean, you know, how often businesses have to have them worked on?
Well, Ken should know
Are you
that he was in the
asking about
business.
Are you asking about the reliability on a refurbished pump?
Yeah.
I think back when I was in business, I purchased refurbished pumps myself, and I never had any problem with them.
Steve, this is
Yeah.
a question for Steve. As it relates to the likelihood of us pumping more than one boat at one time, what's the likelihood of that happening?
We can do it. There's plenty of room at the dock. We usually have at least 2 boats there at the time. Anyhow, we finish one off, we go to the next one.
So if we had 2, it would go faster.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We could get more boats out.
And Jeff, you're saying we can do 2 simultaneous pumps and all that.
Yes.
Wow, I don't know why we wouldn't do this. I just don't know why we wouldn't do this. And even with the $500 additional charge, if that's right to set it up, when you compare that to the other option that we have, where we're basically on the dole for how many years, Polly? What was it that the other vendor gave us? And then we didn't even own the pumps.
Yeah.
Right.
Am I missing something?
No,
No.
you got it.
So it looks like if we're just talking about the pump, I believe the pump price is $57.50, at least on the quote I'm looking at. A shipping charge of $300, an installation charge of $500. We're up to $65.50, and I presume there's tax on some of that, right?
Well, let's
I
say
would
it's-
say we would.
Wait a minute, what I heard was $5,900 for the pump,
Yeah.
$57.50 for the card reader.
Right.
that's what I heard too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's what-
sorry, you're
That's what
correct.
this quote says.
You're correct.
So we're 12,000 or something like that.
Right.
Now, just so everybody knows, in our models, we presume, just so everybody knows, in our models, we presume about 15,000 for this expense.
Do we know, I guess this question would be for Ken, do we know if this pump will fit within inside the current enclosure, or will we have to extend the current enclosure?
I'm, Tom, I'm about 90% sure it'll fit, but if it doesn't, it will be, I've looked at the construction of it, it would be no problem to unbolt the roof of that and lift it up.
That
Y'all
pump
hear
is
that?
6 inches tall.
Yep.
The pump is 6
It's a
inches
pump.
tall and
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I got a quick question about the card reader. AJ.
Go.
The EMV reader, at least through the business I work in parking, we don't, the EMV compliance is the banks will no longer cover a loss on fraud after October 1. It's not that it won't read cards or it won't work. It's just the onus of PCI compliance goes completely on the end user, the vendor, us, and not the credit card company. So if somebody were to say, oh, I didn't pump $100 worth of fuel and write it off, instead of us getting paid, we would actually lose that money if we didn't have a chip reader that was EMV compliant. So that just, I just thought that might need clarification, or if Jeff has learned something new that is different due to our business versus parking garages, I'd be happy to entertain that.
no, we're still considered private. We actually don't even have to have one. But like you said, AJ, yeah, we're on the hook for any fraud. I think I sent everybody a couple of links to learn a little bit about it. There have been suggestions that there will be fines if you don't use the EMV readers. But that's not, I don't think that's been set in stone yet.
This is Tom, but our goal is to have a card reader on the pump. Is that not correct?
Yes. And that particular pump can also, like I said, it can have 2 card readers, one on each side that are completely separate from each other.
But
Really?
it doesn't have to, right?
It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to have any card readers.
But does it increase the $5,000 cost?
Yeah, you're going to double the $5,000 cost. $5,570 is per card reader.
Folks,
Okay.
I think that $5,000 is a small number in great big picture when you think about guys like, you know, whoever's out there doing this, and then they run the card and we're able to know for sure when they come in the marina that the gas they bought is what they really bought. And we have no data that tells us that our users are being dishonest, but it's just a good control. And I mean, it's $5,000, but it's only $5,000.
Can I just clarify something, Jim? With this pump, it has 2 pumps, if you would.
Right.
And the card reader will only support one of those 2?
That's correct.
Okay,
You
so,
do 1 card reader.
If
I
you
was
put
referring to
one
2. I was
card reader
referring to
for each side of it, then you could pump.
can you say that again, AJ?
I was saying that what Jeff is saying is that it's just like if you go to Speedway, if you slide your credit card on the left-hand side, it turns on that pump. If you have a card reader on both sides, then you can swipe one on one side for pump A, swipe one for pump B. It's just whichever side you swipe in turns that pump on for credit card, if I'm not mistaken.
But each one of those costs $5,700.
Yes.
Now, let me ask a simple question. If we don't have a card reader out there, what's the alternative? With our point of sale system, if I come up to the dock and I fill my boat up, nice to see you, Ken. If I pull my boat up and I pump gas and there's no card reader with our POS system the way it is right now, is there another alternative?
Yes,
Can
there
we
is.
have a,
Do we
can we
have
have just like a
handheld?
wireless unit out there that the guy could swipe the card like I do with my business?
There's Square. I do 95% of my business with Square.
But do we have it at the pump?
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Ken,
That's what I'm asking. Is there another alternative
But-
than $57.50 a pump?
But I'm saying, does the POS system have the ability to take like a Verifone or one of those type devices? Like a handheld, just like they're talking about, not something that would use somebody's phone or something like that, like Square.
A dedicated
But-
system.
So
Something
we should
dedicated
find
that they
that
could-
out, right, Ken?
Something that they could bring in and out, they could carry physically in and out so it doesn't get left out there. That they could swipe, or they could, if they need social distancing, they could, extend it out to the person on the boat, just like a drive-through.
sign
Just
off.
like crew car wash.
Yeah.
Ken, do you think we can do that?
We have Wi-Fi, don't we?
Well, for me, in my business, I do a huge percentage of my numbers in Square, but it doesn't really give any detail. It only tells me the transaction that happened. And to the extent that we want to control, any gallons, and again, I have no idea whether we have any theft, and I'm not proposing that we might. But my system doesn't give any of that detail. It just gives me a flat, this is what you received. And I would think that with a slider there on the side of the pump, it would tell you not only what you got, it'll tell you how many gallons you purchased.
I think there's a lot of unanswered questions regarding card readers, who is responsible for fraud. It would be my opinion to take this in 2 steps. Update our dispenser, and then take some time and investigate what's best for us when it comes to what card readers are going to be best. We need to check with our Old National Bank that we deal with to make sure that that we're doing it right. So I would say we take this in 2 steps and take some time to investigate the card reading situation.
That makes sense, Ken.
One thing I just pulled up, since the question has come up about fines and stuff, this is from a ResQ, which is they're talking about the penalties for EMV noncompliance. It says credit card companies are known to apply heavy noncompliance fines, making merchants pay damages caused by the violation, as well as paying for the cost of the investigation. These violation fees can be as much as $5,000 to $100,000. Additionally, a violation can move you into the high-risk category. That's just
I guess this is Tom. I think, Ken's approach, since we have so many unanswered questions regarding how the pump or if the pump could interface with our point of sale system, I think Ken's approach is a good approach. Let's get the pump, let's get it installed. And as long as the vendor says you could add a card reader, whatever form it might be later, then it's, I would say it's a go.
Can we do just a regular credit card reader for way less than that, I would guess.
Well, see,
You
that's
know what I mean?
That's
Just
what
to
I
have
say.
one.
That's why I say there's many unanswered questions. There may be multiple choices that we have, not just one or
Okay.
two.
Okay, right now, if I come up to the pump without this new pump, I have to go inside. If we had one of these mobile card readers, couldn't we use the pump we're using now?
If we had a mobile card reader, I think we should be.
But as you just said, Jim, you don't get any detail.
No, Tommy, I was referring to if you use Square. Jeff is proposing that we use something that's endemic to whatever it is that their system is working. And I think the ultimate question is, and I think we need to table this. The ultimate question is, what is required to comply? And Jeff, what's that compliance referred to as?
EMV.
All right, to the extent that we comply, what do we need to do that at a minimum level? And then Ken would do the research to see whether or not, from a mobile standpoint, Square would meet that criteria. My guess is, from what Jeff has said, is it may not. But why don't we table this and let Ken do that? He just needs to ask a lot of questions because he's made it clear that there are a lot of issues that are surrounding this, and he's got his thumb on the pulse.
The
We go
compliance
ahead
you're
with the
looking
purchase
for
of
is
the
called
pump.
PCI compliance, not EMV compliance. It's called PCI.
Well, whatever the acronym is, but
Yeah, EMV is the
Type of
reader.
reader.
PCI is what their technical.
Yeah, PCI compliance, if you type it in, it'll give you each kind of business and what each business has to do as far as compliance. Also, another thing to consider is if just by getting the fancy reader, the EMV style reader, if we don't follow all the other PCI compliance rules as far as a server and the way the servers are locked up, or if it's a cloud-based server or things like that, there's a lot of questions. If you don't check off every single box as far as PCI compliance is concerned, it doesn't matter if you're 80% or 1%. You're either all or nothing in the eyes of the credit card fraud world. So just be aware of that if we are saying we're doing this for PCI compliance and we're going to spend all that money, which I think we should, we got to make sure that we're covering all bases as far as the office. If there's a server in the office, how is that being secured? All those different sort of things that we would also have to follow in order to make sure that that type of a card reader stays in compliance. Now with Stripe being Square being a
Square.
cloud-based service, you may not have to contend with all of those things if you use that reader that Jim
Maybe
was
not.
showing us. Potentially.
Well, let me can we table this, leave it to Ken, and sorry to put the pressure on you, brother.
Well, I think we have to have some questions that Ken, unless Ken completely understands every question he's going to ask, this sounds fairly complicated to me.
I think Ken understands the question, Paul. Ken?
Yeah, I think with the help of our banker, I think I could get most of those other questions answered.
And I think we also have to find out, is this new point of sale system compliant with any type of card reader, and what type of card reader? Because it might be compliant with Square.
And Square makes a lot of different products, so
They do. Good point, Grant.
I sent a portable card reader, chip reader in the chat. So if you look at the chat, I'll send an email too.
I saw it. Great.
But they do have a lot of different things.
We just have to make sure our point of sale system is compatible.
Right.
And that was the thing Ken and I talked about today was, as Ken said, do this in two-step and have Darcy, since she's deep into our point of sale system, now have her talk with this guy. If by a card reader, it wouldn't break my heart at all. That's going to save $5,700 per side. That was just the information I gathered from the United Petroleum Company.
Well, I'd like to thank Jeff for the effort that he's made. I mean, one of two things is true. We're going to find another effort, or we're going to find the effort that Jeff has made. I think we are certainly going to have a new pump. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And Jeff, really thanks for that, because I think we're positioned to make a decision regarding one which is less expensive and one which is more expensive. And it's going to be that simple. And I am so impressed, Ken, with your people, how much they've looked at all these different things. And this is just one more. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
AJ, how come we can't see your face? He must be gone.
He might be on the phone. Also, he's currently muted.
Okay.
So we'll try to get some more answers for the board meeting and get a little bit more information. I think this was some good discussion. And I think we could shop around and see what our options are for any kind of card readers.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, we're ready to move on to the covenants update.
Yeah. You ready, Rick?
It's Jim Johnson and go ahead.
Well, coming forward, we have the new mailing that's going to be coming out pretty soon in June. And, it's going to re-announce the prizes that are available to people who make their votes during that period of time. We're hopeful that we'll get some response. Presently, we're about 500, I'm making this up, 540, 545 votes short of the 1991 that we need. I am totally convinced that those are reachable. If we look at our historical responses to the covenant, and that's in the mid 70s% in favor of, we ought to be able to pull this thing off, guys. We just have to work really, 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 really hard. I've talked with the committee that is involved in the process. I think our preference is to wait until mid-July before we, I guess, appeal to the board to step up and participate. And if we do that, now look, I am a liberal arts graduate, okay? I did not graduate from math. I learned what I learned because my world told me that I had to learn it. But I think that 30 to 40 members per board member in contact will get us to the finish line. That is all. And I'm using the ratio of about 74% in favor and a balance against. That's where we are. I'm doing about 55 to 60 calls a week. There are people on this communication that we're having right now who I've talked to myself, trying to gather more and more names of people to contact. And once we get to that point where we need help, we're going to turn it loose on you guys. And we're going to depend on you. We're going to depend on you a lot. I think we can make it. We have never been where we are in any vote in the POA history on anything we've ever done. And it's really, really exciting. And the community response to the covenant vote has been, I never expected it. I never expected it. So we're going to be counting on you guys. It's just not right now. And, you know, Jeff, to your issue that maybe we all ought to get on it right now, I want you to allow Chris and I and Jimbo to work it, excuse me, Jim Mullenbein, to work through this as hard as we can. We've got maybe 175 to 200 people that we're working on lively right now. And once we get through those, then we will be able to turn over to the board members to advocate. Does that make any sense, Rick?
Yes, yes, it does.
Now, just so you know, the numbers that we have are over 1,700 that have voted. We've never had anything like that. We're in the middle 70s of people that are in favor of this. We've never had anything like this before. But 1991 is what we must hit in terms of total yes votes to get the 66 2/3% of all of our people. I think we can do it.
Sounds good, Jimmy.
And we're going to depend on you guys to help us. Thanks, Rick.
Let us know when you're ready for us. We're ready to help.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay. Anybody else have anything on the covenants? With that, I'll open it up. Anybody here have anything else they want to discuss before we close the operations meeting tonight?
Rick, is it too early to think about plans for the board meeting in June?
In regards to being open or closed, is that what you're talking, Tom?
Yes.
I'm hoping that it's open, to be honest with you, but I think the governor will tell us that, won't he?
Hadn't he already told us? We're what, 100 people fixing to go to 250, went to 250. Look at the chart. Public gatherings.
Hey guys, there was just another quick question I had while you guys are looking that up. I went by the tournament, the bass tournament on what was it, Sunday. And they had a cutoff of, I guess, 13 boats, and there were some kids that wanted to fish that I guess didn't make it in because they didn't get there, I guess, quite on time or whatever.
Well, they were about 13 was the problem.
Well, that's a lake committee issue, isn't it?
No, go ahead.
Right, but go ahead, Rick.
No, you go ahead.
Like I said, everybody there was spaced out. I got called by Kent Hoops and Jason McClellan to come down and take a look and just kind of put my eyes on it. And everybody was basically staying by their boats and staying distanced out. I guess I just didn't understand why 13 boats. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Well, the only thing I could think of regarding 13 boats, that would be, what is it, 26 participants? So that would fall almost within the 25 participants that I think we're still under.
That is correct, and that is a board sanctioned event, and which puts Heritage Lake under liability to follow those rules. I've heard people say that, what about the taco truck, the line? Well, we didn't make anything off that. That was nothing to do with Heritage Lake. We didn't sponsor it. It was the bass tournament is something we sponsor. We approve. And for us to go over and above what the governor says puts us in a liability. So that was the reason for the 13 boats.
Yeah, I think that's a wise decision, Ken.
I agree
No,
with
that's fine. Like I said, they had asked me to, you know, what I thought about it, and I didn't know we had put, and maybe I wasn't listening, but I didn't know we had imposed a number because they're not like in an enclosed area, being outside and on the lake. So I didn't have a good answer to give them when I was standing there. So
Well, this is, AJ, this is what I would say was, it's their event. If they have different ideas, they need to bring that to me or to us to decide. All we know is that when they finish their tournament, they all congregate together. And that has the perception that could get us in trouble. So
okay,
if they, let me back up a minute. That was after the board approved the tournament. I gave him the number of 13 votes at 2 people a vote. Nothing was said until approximately 9 o'clock on Saturday night that I dealt with for about an hour, that they wanted to increase it. Now, in my eyes, don't call me at 9 o'clock to try to adjust the rules that was given to you. If you have a different plan, then come to me the week prior, not 8 hours before the tournament at 10 o'clock at night. So
I got you, Ken. Like I said, I'm not trying to throw jabs here at anybody.
no, I understand.
They asked me to take a look, and I came over, and everybody was standing 10, 15 feet away from each other, even during the weigh-in process, with their boat crew people while they were getting their boats pulled out. So like I said, I didn't realize that an outdoor event was still under the same scrutiny that an indoor event would be under. That's all.
A social gathering. And right now, May 4th to May 23rd is 25 or fewer, and May 24th, it goes up to 100 people. And that is considered a social gathering. So
This might be a good.
that's where the 25 would come in.
This might be
AJ?
a good time to just. Go ahead, Ken.
What I would respond to is, like I said, it's their event. They need to come to me with a plan, and they haven't come to me with a plan. I told them 13 votes. So I'm open. I'm willing to listen to whatever, but don't, when I tell you 13 votes, don't come to me at 9 o'clock at night and say you want to enter more, and with no plan in place. So I'm just saying that, you know, the shoe is on their foot to come to me with a plan, whether to approve or not. It's
I
pretty
got you.
simple. I don't think I've
No, you're
demonstrated.
fine. You're fine.
Okay.
I got you.
I'd
I'm
like
with you. Like I
to,
said, I just wanted to bring it up because they've got a tournament on Friday, and that will be before the increase in social gathering size. Now it's a night tournament, so they said the attendance may not be as high, but they just wanted, you know, he just asked if I could bring it to your attention, everyone's attention, that's what happened. It's just a community issue. I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking to start a complaint department or a fight over here about this because I don't fish. So
Well, I don't think that I've demonstrated to be unreasonable. I'm just saying, come if you want to change, if you have a better idea, bring it to me. I just want to make sure everybody's safe and we follow the rules. And I don't make a decision to put Heritage Lake in a liability issue that could get us fined.
Good job, Ken.
really good job, Ken.
I agree. Okay,
I agree,
is that
Jim.
enough on the fish? Jeff, were you looking up something for
I
AJ?
was just looking up the gathering, the state of Indiana rules. So I just pulled their chart up. May 24th, it goes to 100 people or fewer. And June 14th, it goes to 250 people.
So Tom, to answer your question, I don't know why we couldn't have it in the clubhouse unless there's a change from what Jeff just gave us.
I heard what Jeff just gave us. The one thing that I think we have to consider is the CDC guidelines for opening in terms of quote unquote sanitation, spacing of chairs, wiping down of doorknobs, chair backs, tables. We have to be able to support those CDC guidelines. And I don't know if, I'm sure Ken has reviewed those, and it would be up to him and his staff to be able to support that. And that might take an effort.
That's true.
Ken, are you with these? Are you with what Tom's saying?
Yes.
Yes, I've actually have already played around with the boardroom, and I've got all the the tables that you guys sit at. I've got them all spaced apart to where you're 6 to 7 feet apart. And then as far as the audience goes, that we would probably allow seating for every 2 seats in there to keep people in the distance of each other. And as far as the cleaning, we've been doing that before and after each meeting anyway.
Do we have to offer face masks?
I don't think we have to offer. I think as of right now, I believe that's still an option. While it's a wise option, I don't know that we have the means to have enough masks for everybody. As
I
far
don't
as
know if it helps, but with the program that was offered in Indianapolis here, that you could purchase that kind of equipment.
I'm not aware of that.
Tom,
Okay.
I'm with you on the conservative approach, but I'm also with Jeff that we really have to do what we have to do. And we're in an environment where there's going to be risks in what we do. And everybody knows that. And I think that everybody that goes to our meetings knows that if they don't wear masks, either they're non-compliant or they're idiots. And I get the CDC. I get the CDC option. And I know that our group is older than other people in general, but we got to come out of this somehow, Tom. We got to come out of it. And I think Jeff's right.
No, I agree. We have to come out of it, but I think we need to come out of it slowly. And I really think, your reference to, people 65 years or older is a good point to bear in mind.
We do have a disproportionate number of those people in our community.
I think there might only be 2 board members there that.
Let me see. Okay, there's one with Jeff.
Maybe 3 board
There's
members.
Grant.
I'm sorry.
Let me think. And AJ. Okay, that's it.
And Grant, so that would be 3.
I think that Jeff's right, that we need to take the risk.
Well, the masks are currently recommended by the state. They're not required. People know if they're at risk. I can say from being on the fire department, at 0 COVID cases or 0 COVID contact at the lake since this started. Actually, in our fire territory, we've had 0 COVID. Not just illnesses, but no reports of anybody with COVID that's tested positive.
So Ken, what I heard you say is that you can have the room cleaned and satisfactory where we were wearing compliance, and we can have the June meeting in the clubhouse.
Yes, I feel confident that it would be sanitized and everybody would be social distancing spaced apart.
Okay, and with saying that, there has to be a number in the audience that would put us over the safe distancing. So can you come up with a number by figuring the chairs and that?
Sure.
Once we get to that point, no one else can come in? Is that what we're gonna have to say?
Yes, that's what I would say.
Okay, is everybody in agreement with that?
I am.
Okay,
I have the big question though.
okay.
Reedy, are you going to say anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna say one thing. I won't wear a mask.
Okay, with that, does anybody else have anything else for the operations meeting?
I'll wear a mask too.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Before we do,
Okay, say aye.
before we do that, is there any need for an executive session off record, off recording?
Yeah. Paul, did you get information that we can
I
have some
did.
discussion on?
Yes, there is.
So
There
yes,
is a,
yes,
there is an issue for an executive meeting.
I think that's good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
I vote to adjourn this normal meeting.
does everybody,
good.
would
Adjourn.
everybody vote to adjourn the operations meeting for this evening?
I
Aye.
Opposed? So closed, so moved. Thanks everyone for coming.
I'm gonna go shut off the live feed.
All right. I'm going to shut that off too, Grant. Does
Okay.
what I do have any impact on what you do?
Can we take like 3-minute break while you guys do that and make sure everybody's gone out of here that doesn't need to be?
Are we signing off or
Clearly.
are we just gonna wait, log back in or what?
No, just
No,
hang.
no, everybody just stay here.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Ken,
Yes, sir.
can you, dude, I am